faithfully delivering value and interpreting great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally from Book Talks. Today, I'm explaining the book First Break All the Rules with the subtitle The Secrets of the World's Top Managers. This book is for managers at all levels, teaching you how to improve management styles, cultivate dedicated employees, and build efficient teams. You'll discover that traditional corporate management has a lot of ridiculous aspects. And to create a good work environment and become an excellent manager, we need to break many conventional mindsets. This book also helps regular employees think about their career development. First, break all the rules. After its US publication in 1999, it got rave reviews, stayed on top business management bestseller lists for ages, and became a textbook in American business schools. This book brings together decades of Gallup's research and surveys. Gallup is a top global consulting firm skilled at measuring and analyzing people's thoughts scientifically, providing marketing and management advice to clients. It has served companies like Disney, Procter& Gamble, Microsoft, and other Fortune 500 firms, and is recognized as an industry authority. In the 25 years before this book was published, Gallup surveyed 1 million employees and over 80,000 managers worldwide, listening to employees and analyzing what makes great managers tick. The two authors, Buckingham and Kaufman, were both Gallup employees. Buckingham focused on studying the core traits of outstanding managers. Kaufman worked on a global scale. They did environmental assessments, compiled and analyzed survey results from their work, and ultimately gave us this book, revealing the unconventional thinking of top managers. The core belief of this book is don't waste energy fixing weaknesses. Instead, maximize your existing strengths. Based on this belief, the book answers two common questions faced by business managers. First, how to evaluate and improve the work environment. Second, how do great managers find and develop employees? Let's start with the work environment. A good one is key to keeping talented staff and boosting their motivation. But many managers don't know if employees are happy with it or what's wrong if they're not. That's when you need a benchmark to measure a company's work environment. Gallup, by analyzing vast amounts of data, identified the 12 most critical factors in the work environment and designed 12 questions. Managers can use this questionnaire to ask employees and uncover management issues. These 12 questions are known as the Q12 system, and we can interpret them through 4 dimensions. The first dimension is basic needs, which includes 2 questions. First question, do you know what's expected of you at work? Second question, do you have the materials and equipment needed to do your work properly? In this dimension, managers should clarify employees' direction of effort and provide all resources to ensure smooth work. This requires managers to pay attention to each employee and free them from unnecessary stress. Imagine an employee constantly bothered by the office air conditioning not working. That would be a major disruption to daily work. The second dimension is managerial support, corresponding to 4 questions. First, do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day at work? Second, do you receive recognition or praise for doing good work? Third, does your supervisor seem to care about you as a person? Fourth, is there someone at work who encourages your development? This means managers need to leverage employees' strengths and recognize their achievements. If managers fail at these points, employees' sense of belonging will decline, affecting their contribution to the company. Data shows that 70% of employees' engagement is influenced by their direct manager, making manager support crucial. The third dimension is teamwork, corresponding to 4 questions. First, are your opinions valued? Second, does the team's mission make you feel that your work is important? Third, are your coworkers committed to doing quality work? Fourth, Do you have a best friend at work? In the third dimension, managers need to foster employees' sense of ownership, help them see work as a mission, reduce unfairness, promote harmony, and good teamwork cultivates loyalty to the company. The fourth dimension is employee development, corresponding to two questions. First, in the past 6 months, has someone at work talked to you about your progress? Second, in the past year, have you had opportunities at work to learn and grow? Managers need to give employees positive feedback appropriately and provide opportunities for their development and advancement. For employees who meet the earlier dimensions, they crave innovation more. Managers need to provide enough development space for employees in the fourth dimension, helping employees and the company grow together. So these 12 questions form the Q12 system. The more affirmative employees' answers to these questions, the better the work environment, which boosts motivation and enhances their engagement. So, how can we build a good work environment using the Q12 system? Managers need to have one on one or group discussions with subordinates asking about their understanding and needs regarding weak areas in the Q12 system so they can develop reliable improvement plans. Here, we must not make assumptions. For example, there was a company where employees gave low scores on receiving praise for excellent work. The manager assumed that the solution was to post red lists for recognition and give out bonuses. But after half a year, employees scored even lower on this question. And when he asked for employees' opinions, he found that most people weren't interested in this approach. Some even dislike the flashy red list method and financial incentives. Some prefer one on one praise from the manager, others like a public praise email copied to their team, detailing their achievements. Uh, this way, they can share it with their family and friends. So, companies can identify issues through the Q12 system and tailor improvement plans based on employees' diverse needs. Of course, the order of Q12 isn't arbitrary. Gallup compares building a good work environment to climbing a mountain. We must climb step by step, starting with the first dimension, employees' basic needs, and the second dimension, managerial support. If a manager rushes to climb later dimensions, it's like suddenly arriving at high altitude. Severe altitude sickness makes you feel unwell, and the only solution is to descend quickly. Starting from the basics, managers who can truly build a good work environment often have great wisdom. Next, we'll discuss how world-class managers balance breakthroughs, scout and develop employees. Excellent managers all agree on one thing: it's hard to change an employee's nature. This idea sounds quite negative at first, but essentially, these managers deeply realize that instead of spending enormous effort fixing weaknesses, it's better to leverage employees' strengths. Starting here, this book will constantly challenge your conventional thinking. We often say fixing weaknesses leads to success, but top managers don't think that way. In summary, top managers excel at four things. First, selecting people. Second, setting expectations. Third, motivating them. Fourth, developing them. Companies shouldn't force uniform management styles. Focusing managers on these four core activities is most effective. So, how do top managers excel at these four things? Let's take them one by one. First, when selecting people, focus on talent, not just experience, intelligence, or determination. So, what is talent? It's the recurring patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior that come naturally to someone. For example, some have natural navigation skills or effortlessly socialize at parties. That's talent. Turn hiring often emphasizes education, years of experience, past work history, etc. After hiring, companies provide standardized training. But why do employee performances still vary so much? Because during hiring, managers didn't focus on talent. Talent falls into four categories: relationship building, influencing, strategic thinking, and executing. Relationship builders unite teams. Influencers gain wider acceptance. Strategic thinkers explore possibilities. Executives turn ideas into reality. Combining these talents shapes each person's uniqueness. Moreover, this book states talent is extremely hard to change. Explaining from neuroscience, infants, from birth, their brains interact with the world and form synapses. Synapses connect neurons and transmit information. Around age 3, the brain prunes these synaptic networks, strengthening robust connections while weaker ones fade. Like highways, frequently used paths widen while unused ones overgrow. These neural highways become talent. It's not that talent can't change at all. Repeated intense training might carve a small pathway in the brain, but compared to the original highways, it always seems insufficient. Moreover, as a company, we must consider ROI instead of exhausting resources trying to change someone's talents. Why not find people with suitable talents instead? Next, the manager's second key focus. Defining requirements means emphasizing the right outcomes, not the right steps. Managers often face a dilemma in management. On one hand, each employee has different talents that are hard to change, and human nature is diverse. On the other, you're accountable for company performance and must drive employees toward shared goals. For this dilemma, the book offers a solution. Define the right outcomes, then let each employee solve problems using their strengths. For example, a principal boosting school influence should focus on student advancement rates, not micromanaging teacher punctuality or classroom control. A restaurant manager increasing revenue need only monitor customer reviews and repeat visits, not daily inspecting dish flavors or staff uniforms. The benefit? Employees feel accountable pressure within clear goals. Once in this state, they'll naturally take the path of least resistance to succeed. And say one salesperson excels at relationships, another at eloquence, another at expertise. No manager needs to dictate methods. They'll naturally achieve targets using their best approaches. We've covered talent's importance and defining outcomes. How do we help everyone reach expected performance? That's the third key point. When motivating employees, managers must leverage strengths while avoiding weaknesses. To unleash talent, managers should spend more time with star performers. And here we challenge conventional thinking again. Many managers spend lots of time with underperformers, believing their duty is guidance or control. But great managers value neither. They see management as catalysis, transforming talent into performance. So they invest most time with star performers, finding ways to unleash their talents. 3 reasons. First, it's fairest. Second, it's the most productive learning method. Third, it's the only way to distinguish average from excellence. Why is it fairest? Every employee craves manager attention for career discussions. Focusing only on underperformers signals better performance means less attention. Utterly illogical. Moreover, time spent with strugglers. You might learn why systems frustrate or customers complain. But over time, you collect a basket of failure cases. This reveals nothing about excellence. Countless paths lead to failure, but paths to excellence, only a handful exist. Studying failures, you'd never discover top housekeepers lying on guest beds to check ceiling fans for gust. Exceptional servers confidently guide diners. Outstanding nurses form emotional bonds with patients. Companies like Disney, Southwest Airlines, GE, Ritz-Carlton now study top performers, interviewing, shadowing, filming them so others learn. Great managers travel with sales stars, observe master teachers, study top customer calls. Finally, we mustn't obsess over averages. Honestly, it's lazy management. Managers rate and reward based on above or below average, then try dragging strugglers to mediocrity. Some companies might set excellence at 50% above average, but facts show this could be completely wrong. Average and excellence are unrelated. Take data entry. The US average is 380,000 keystrokes monthly. So what should a top data entry specialist aim for? 20%? 50%, or 100% above average. Actually, top performers achieve 10 times the average. This teaches us never estimate excellence limits by averages. It severely underestimates potential. Only by studying the best will you understand what top means. So, focus on stars, set unique expectations, and unleash individual strengths. We'll also discover why they excel. Of course, we can't ignore weaknesses. Two direct causes for underperformance. First, lacking tools or information, a Q12 issue mentioned earlier. Second, personal reasons like family crises. After identifying causes, ask two questions. First, can training fix this? Second, do you truly understand the employee's needs? Strugglers, skill building, or meeting needs often reignites talent. If not, we face the toughest issue, talent role mismatch. Be gently, salespeople lacking empathy, managers without strategic vision. Three ways to help. First, create support systems, like buying suits for poorly dressed sales staff, or separate phones for those who hate using personal devices for work calls. Second, find complementary partners. Successful leaders aren't all-rounders. They cover weaknesses with others' strengths. This complementarity exists at Microsoft, Apple, Disney. Third, explore role changes. You might try everything, still no solution. At this point, we must consider reassignment or termination. After all, people can only change so much, and we can't pour unlimited resources into fixing flaws. Among employees' shortcomings, sometimes a mismatch between an employee and their role is torture for both parties. So, to be an excellent manager, the last thing you need to focus on is helping employees find the best fit, not just climbing higher and higher. Most employees hold a conventional belief they must always climb upward in the company, constantly gaining higher positions and titles. Teachers must become principals. Salespeople must become managers. Doctors must become deans. But now we need to break this idea. Have we truly considered what positions employees are suited for? If we don't think this way, it puts employees in a very dangerous spot. They'll blindly climb to an unsuitable role and get trapped there. And when you unable to climb further up or go back down until finally they're fired. In management, this is called the Peter Principle or the upward climb theory. Here's a case. 2 years ago, A was a chief foreign correspondent for a European TV station. One week, he was in Zaire reporting on a dictator's fall, the next in Chechnya, broadcasting live. He always uncovered the core of anger and revealed intentions behind chaotic actions. So A's performance was recognized, and a year later, he got promoted and stationed in Washington, considered the best job in the industry. But after A took the role, it quickly collapsed. A excelled at interpreting real-life drama through politics, but wasn't good at dramatizing political events. This is exactly the ability Washington reporters need most. Washington's monotonous political topics require reporters to spice things up, adding flashy twists. A could perfectly report on mortar attacks, but couldn't make European audiences care about Washington politics. Soon, A resigned in disgrace. The flaw in this always climb upward mindset is that excelling at a lower level doesn't guarantee success at the next level with minimal training. The talents needed for a higher role might be totally different from an employee's current ones, like a bank branch manager needing strong sales skills, but the president requiring stronger management and planning abilities. So promoting someone with only strong sales talent to bank president is bad for both company and individual. Even understanding this, we find employees still crave promotion because society tells us higher positions mean better pay, fancy titles, and enviable status. Companies challenging this mindset can create heroes at every level. Like the old saying, every profession produces its own masters. Creating heroes means widening salary bands and designing variable pay plans where lower roles can exceed higher level pay. A top performer at lower level is far more valuable than a mediocre higher level employee. Dizzy uses this approach. Exceptional restaurant servers there can earn 2 to 3 times their manager's salary. Moving to management means initial pay cuts until proven ability. So Disney employees earn well without becoming managers. At medical device firms, top salespeople out-earn management since they're core revenue drivers. This design stops blind career climbing, helping employees recognize their talents and fit. We can also create dual career paths, like engineering specialist roles for great technicians who aren't managers, with equal or better pay than executives. This satisfies advancement desires too. Many companies now implement this through parallel tracks, specialist versus management, with matching levels and pay, letting employees choose their path. Some use trial promotions to observe performance before finalizing advancement. Companies must set trial period lengths, final standards, and provide necessary guidance. This weaves a safety net for employees, preventing more mistakes. To guide employees on the right career path, managers must focus on 2 areas. First, ensure smooth implementation of company systems so teams feel fairness. Second, consistently conduct one-on-one performance reviews, reflecting on the past while planning the future. But remember, this isn't for evaluation, it's for understanding talents. So the book's core ideas boil down to 2 points. First, use the Q12 system to build great environments, address needs, encourage support, foster teamwork, and provide growth space. Second, to excel as a manager, select for talent when hiring, and define right outcomes when setting expectations. When motivating employees, leverage strengths while avoiding weaknesses. When developing employees, help them find the best fit, not just climb higher. These strategies transform work environments, earn employee trust for great managers, drive sustainable growth, and uproot outdated thinking. All right, that's our breakdown of First Break All the Rules for today. Find reading notes below the audio. See you tomorrow.